Hi. So, it's been a bit of a rough day. How are you? Welcome back to Energy Healing Oracle 555. If you watched my St. Patrick's Day, are you a fairy, a leprechaun, or a goblin? You'll know what this is about. Today, I am a goblin. I am in full goblin mode. And this is for anybody else out there who's having a bit of a struggle today. Anybody who's having a bit of a struggle, but this one specifically goes out to my good friend Andrea, my neurodivergent buddy, and all my ADHD, autistic, neurodivergent friends who would agree with me that sometimes the world is just too fucking much. Honestly, we goblins, we try. We try and fit in, but sometimes the answer is just a hole in the ground. You know, just a nice, comfortable, warm, safe hole. This requires a little bit of explanation, and if this is not for you, just, roll on by. I will be a fairy at some point, but not today. Today I am not a fairy. I am sitting exactly in goblin mode. And the way that I'm feeling right now, if you flitter on by, I would probably throw a ball of mud at you. So, go on, flitter on by. Bye-bye. It's time for the goblins. Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. Okay, now that it's just us, well, us and anybody else who just wants to be entertained. You know who you are. When you know. I discovered something enchanting when I was doing research for the St. Patrick's Day reading, and it was that fairy tales in general had this kind of resonance with the neurodivergent community. And I learned that the changeling folklore of Europe, I just love watching my ears go. Sorry. I'm very easily entertained today. I have no idea. The changeling the changeling stories were told that a fairy came in and played a trick and took a human baby and put a fairy in its place. And that child had no idea what it was getting itself into. It grew up being a fairy and not understanding why anybody could understand it. It was growing up being a fairy, but trying to be a human and not understanding why it couldn't be. And so that's where the phrase came, fairy touched. Like, that child is odd. That child is a bit fairy touched. Even if nobody actually believed that this child was a changeling, probably not a very kind thing to apply to a child that was probably neurodivergent in that time to be called, probably among other things. And, there are more things out there than just neurodiversity that are invisible, that make me feel like hell sometimes. And yesterday I put myself through the ringer. I did too much. I've had chronic pain. I'm in pain every day. I go to sleep and I'm in pain. I wake up and I'm in pain. I push through my day. I get distracted. I get things done. I push and I push and I push. And I get home and I crash. And I get myself relaxed enough to go to sleep. In pain, mostly. Wake up and I do it all over again. And yesterday I was toast, and I woke up today at 11 o'clock, and I knew today the only thing I did was walk to the garbage chute in my building because I was in so much pain. I went to the walk-in clinic yesterday because I've been saying, oh, I just have a little bit of swimmer's ear. No, I have a double ear infection with ringing and an ever-present headache. And part of me was like, Kelly, stop! What else do you want? Do you want a body part to light itself on fire? And I should not be surprised because yesterday, if you saw the reading, I did a folklore reading and then I did the enchanted map, and I got an elephant, which is the remover of obstacles, but it was stuck in the muck, which was stop. There will be no obstacles moved today. And you're not going anywhere, but you're not going anywhere for a reason. So yes, my dear collective of sensitives, these are for you, but they're also for me. Oh dear. Anyways, I just figured I would play the part. I would find my inner goblin and do a mask at the same time. Why not? Right? Why not? What do I have to lose? Anyways, so goblins. There are many, many reasons, and I'm gonna tell you. And you can blast past this if you don't want and just go straight to the reading. But if you're interested as to why you might feel that you resonate with this and that it would be helpful, like I am feeling, like there was a reason that I decided I needed to stay home. I looked back on yesterday's reading and I thought, in the muck. Yeah, that is a phrase for how I'm feeling right now. So I guess I better just suck it up and barricade the door. Hole in the ground. That's what I need today. And I'm lucky that I'm able to do that. And to those of you out there who are not able to do that, put on headphones and bark at people, and they won't come near you. Sometimes you have to do what you have to do, right? You know, that's all I could do. And the other thing, I got the elephant and I got the heron. And when I looked up heron, what was it? King of the marsh. Stuck in the muck and king of the marsh. Ha, ha, ha. That's very funny. The divine has a huge, grandiose sense of humor. So I am going somewhere with this. Goblins are awesome. They really are. And accepting my chronic pain and accepting my ADHD for what it is and what it needs, I have learned is the only way that I can deal with it. And that is hard. Being in a society that can walk longer than me, that can lift heavier things than me, that can go up and down stairs as long as they want for the most part, I can't. I'm very touched. I am also like a goblin, you know, clever, mischievous, bit of a rule breaker. I see the world differently. I question the system. I can tend to be a bit misunderstood. And sometimes I do feel like I live a bit on the margins of society. I've been in this apartment recovering from work-related injuries. I can't be a reflexologist anymore because my hands quit. And I've been trying to recover ever since, and it's not happening. You know, I'm having to think outside the box, which is what us ADHDers are good at. I'm just trying to wait for that to happen. Sitting here, stuck in the muck, doing a mask, you know? And the other thing that's interesting about goblins is their tendency to hoard quote-unquote non-valuable objects. So like curious tools, buttons, thimbles, things that don't have an obvious value, and things that are overlooked. And I think that has to come with a non-judgmental kind of frame of reference, which I think is beautiful. You know, I like collecting things, and it kind of actually made me think of my grandpa. I've been thinking a lot about my mom's dad, and we teased him because he liked to pick things up off the side of the road, and he was always a collector. I mean, he was, you know, on the board of a museum. You know, he collected pioneer stuff and war stuff, and it all started with an arrowhead that he found in a field that had just been plowed when he was a boy. And he would collect stuff and give it to us. He would give us baskets made by native artists, made of porcupine quills, like the coolest stuff, the most artistic stuff, and I always appreciated it. You know, it's amazing. It's a work of genius, you know? And it's also the reason why I looked at this book and I picked it up and went, there's other people out there like me. And Goblin mode is what it is called. So I am going to start reading a bit from this, doing some goblin-centric readings, but I just wanted to read to you just a little bit from the beginning of the book to orient you to what it's all about. So we live in a culture that values perfection and conformity, so it can be difficult to feel like we have a place in the world if there's anything different about us. Yeah. Our identities and our relationships are boiled down to the simplest form so that we're easier to digest. No. Dirty, sticky weirdos are just as deserving of love as anyone else. Our worth isn't dictated by how easy we are to advertise to. I love that. I freaking love that. And I also loved this part. This is all to say that goblin life is for everyone. Like anyone can do this. Come over to the dark side. Find your dark hole in the ground. It can be as simple or complex as you want to make it. And ultimately, it's up to you to decide what kind of goblin you want to be. The goblin world welcomes everyone, and it has a lot to teach us about how to create a more inclusive, interesting world. Embracing your inner goblin means embracing things that we're taught to ignore about human nature. The good, the weird, and the sticky. It's about getting back in touch with our inner child and giving that child the steering wheel. If any of this sounds good to you, you might just be a goblin. So I have put a link to a preview of this book that you can download, but I highly suggest it. And now to the reading. And yes, this isn't an accident. I am going to take this new awesome deck. Ooh, what dark energy can you cast off? The curse. I'm just picking it up. Look at that eye. Well, right now I can tell you I am casting off the curse of believing that this constant chronic pain is a curse, and that my neurodiversity is a curse. It is something that is forcing me to slow down, to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, and to ask me to justify why I'm not taking care of myself. Because there are things that I need that other people don't need. And I mean, obviously, everyone deserves self-care. Everyone deserves self-love. But for the people with mental, emotional, physical, and intellectual disabilities, they do not have the resilience or the support or other things that one needs to vault over the obstacles when they're in the muck. So I guess this is my handout saying if I can help somebody right now who's in the muck, even if it's just to make them laugh, here I am in all my mucky, sticky, messy, honest glory. And Divine, you have been with me all day laughing at my jokes, so please be with me, and please let my whole healing team be with me, guide everything that I say and do, so this reading goes out for the highest good to all concerned and the highest good of my collective. What do we need to know about honoring our true nature today? What does our collective need to know about honoring our true nature today? There's one card, and that's a beautiful card, and that just flipped out and it was perfect. What else do we need to know about our true nature? Oh my goodness. Okay, that's too many cards. We'll take the first one. Oh, lovely. I got that yesterday. Okay. What requires your protection? And the first thing I think of is you. You require your protection. And I see the circle in the back. And salt is protection. Salt is cleansing. So maybe you need to take a salt and soda bath tonight. You know? And they're putting a salt protection around them. Maybe you need to, ow. What needs my protection? My right ear needs protection. Ah! I'm not dramatic at all. Right. 40. You know what? I feel better just being myself and say, you know what? I am in the muck. I'm the king of the muck. Oh, come on. 39 and 40. Salt. Once known as white gold. Salt is a universal symbol of purity, drawing on the ancient alchemical understanding that all that is mundane can beget the sacred. Folklorically, salt absorbs negative energies and impurities, making it an essential element in rituals aimed at removing spiritual or psychic disturbances. Sprinkle salt around doorways and windows in protective circles or across thresholds to block malevolent forces from entering. Carry a small bag of salt in lieu of a protective amulet. Always sprinkle some over your left shoulder when spilled. My mom always used to do that. Yeah. She had Scottish and Dutch heritage. I think she learned that from her parents. Meaning, just as folklore grants salt the power to purify, you too possess an innate ability to clarify your emotions, thoughts, and intentions. What areas of your life, whether physical locations or emotional depths, are in need of designation and protection? Salt lore speaks to our instinct to safeguard. Perhaps your vulnerabilities are not so easily rendered safe within a salt circle, but you might create your own psychic circle of protection. Can you carve out a space in your life that is free of judgment and negative energy, a place that renews you with a sense of security and confidence? And that's the thing. When I said, we collect things that somebody else might not value, that pressure, that external pressure to not value something, even though we feel it's of great value, that's pressure for us to see something somebody else's way because more people see it their way than our way. And that's hard. That's hard to block out, right? So I talk a lot about, energetic boundaries, right? And when I went home and was helping my mom clean out the house, I found my dad's pyramid. And I love that shape. And in my meditation list, where at the bottom you'll find the Goblin mode link. There's also with Reiki Rachel, there's a 10-minute meditation where she goes through the chakras, but she's also, she does it in reference to a pyramid shape. But there are tons of meditations that you can do to restore your energetic boundaries. And you don't have to just push out malevolent forces. You can also push out just negative intentions like judgment. You don't need to take on somebody else's judgment. You can let their judgment, and they can have that awful judgment, poo under their nose type face. You can value what you value. You can see outside of the box because you're going to see value in something, and that's going to lead you down a road to maybe a solution that nobody else thought of, or something beautiful that nobody else saw. We're here for a reason. The world needs goblins. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here, right? We are in demand. We should be in demand. But nobody can find us because we live in the holes. Let's see. So can you carve out a space? So yes, carve out a space, someplace you feel safe. If you want to make an altar that you sit in front of, that you go to, every once in a while, or, do it every day for a while to make a pattern, a ritual about it, because ritual is another thing that helps you feel safe. Because, you can always count on that space to go to it. A bowl of salt, sprinkled. All right, diving deeper. The idea of protecting your energy and honoring your boundaries is easier said than done. When triggers arise, what can you do to draw a line around yourself? Cultivate a practice for moments when you find yourself challenged to control your emotions. Clear and precise steps. 3 deep breaths, counting to 10, rerouting yourself in your body can help tether you to an inscribed mental space of calm and clarity. Like salt, these precious tools are available to you. And that is very, very important for people that are neurodivergent, because when you are ADHD or autistic or any number of things, it feels like the world is just coming at you all of the time, 24/7. You are just overstimulated. And it gets to the point where it's like your brain, it feels like it's been saturated and you can't actually think your way through a problem anymore. And that's when you can't actually take on any information. And recognizing when you've gotten to that point where you're completely overstimmed, I have started listening to ASMR for overstimulation, for meditation for people with ADHD on Calm is very good, but you can just go to YouTube for stuff like that as well. But the big thing is self-soothing. Do you need to be warm? Do you need certain textures? Do you need the lights to be low? Do you need a bath? Do you need particular music? Find out what those kind of things are. Because once you've been overstimulated, emotional regulation is very difficult. And whether you've been triggered by someone or something that really meant to do you harm, or whether it was just a perceived harm, rejection, sensitivity, dysphoria sucks. It doesn't actually matter because your body reacts the same way. So you have to work your way through emotional regulation. And then you can decide what to do. But your body doesn't actually understand the difference because you have gone through your whole life being called the fairy-touched kid. People reacting to you as you are the fairy-touched kid. The one that's just a little, off-center, a little, why'd they do that? Why is that person like this? Well, you're just being you. And just because you stand out doesn't mean that you deserve to be labeled as anything other than just you, right? So it's hard. Okay, so let's keep going here. Magic words. What are you speaking into being? So this is you protecting yourself and then doing some taking control. Once you are in a safe place, you feel safe, what are you going to manifest? Because you do have control once you're feeling like you're in your safe place. That's also your place of power, right? You're regaining your power. You're regaining your center. And that's why it's incredibly important to come back to this place. Magic words hold the power to shape destinies, open secret doorways, the key is to surrender, conjure realms, bless or curse. With a deep yearning to command and influence, a person steps into the realm of incantations, embarking on a journey to understand the potency of the human voice. The power of these words does not lie merely in their sonic vibrations, but in their intention. The unique resonance in the combination of the two creates a ripple throughout the cosmos. Perhaps it is the language the universe speaks most fluently. According to biblical tradition, it was through words that God created the world. Let there be light. Right? And when you're doing blessings in terms of like rituals, with the goddess, the phrase that is often used is, and so it is, or and so it shall be. It's, I bless this, whatever this is. When you are offering gratitude or you're saying, I'm giving up this, and so it is. Because it's not just about the words, it's about the intention behind the words. It's a person using their personal power to say yes. Yes. And to say it again. And to say it again. You speak something into being. Okay? What magic words do you whisper to yourself? Whether you're aware or not, we tell ourselves stories about our lives. How do your words shape your worldview, bring you solace, or mire you in grief or self-loathing? All words, be they invocations, nursery rhymes, prayers, songs, or thoughts, contain their own sort of magic, for they form our experience. They mirror our innate ability to craft our reality through language. We are the empowered word wizards, the authors of our own stories. And the words we speak to ourselves determine the plot. Take a moment to listen carefully to your thoughts and words when you speak, as you would a wise storyteller. Where do you want your story to lead? Speak the next step forward into existence. And I mean, I talk to myself all the time. I'm a storyteller because I need to hear. I write something and then I read it to myself because I have to hear how it sounds. Because the magic is in how the words sound together, right? Onomatopoeia, plop, bang, whoosh, that kind of thing. So I need to hear it to really understand the impact of what I've written. But if you don't really do that, pick a song. I mean, and that's why I sing too. 'Cause there's always been a rainbow drifting over your head. You could see what I see. You'd be blinded by the colors. So look through my song. Look through the song list. Rainbow by Casey Musgraves. Learn it, sing it. It's about somebody struggling and not knowing how beautiful they are, how gifted they are, and how much they're going to bring to the world because of a destiny that is waiting for them that they can't see yet, right? That is how you speak something. That is the intention that I want you to give yourself. Give yourself an intention. Pick a song, sing it and sing it and sing it. Put on headphones if it makes you feel better. Nobody will know. Okay? The utterance of magic words is a journey of manifestation, right? The reflection of our deep desire to call forth transformation from the wellspring of our intentions. We are linguistic alchemists. Ooh, I love that. Casting spells or reciting prayers with every sentence. How would you speak to yourself if you truly believed that your words were magical? They are. That's why we have language, right? Yesterday when I did the folklore, I was saying before there was books, before there was language that we wrote down and that we read, we spoke it. We passed it on by speaking it, and we learned it by listening to it. That was the way it was transmitted, and it was magical because we had to engage with someone. You can engage with yourself that way. Pick a story that inspires you and read it aloud to yourself, right? And now we have sleep. What do your dreams illuminate? So yesterday when I looked this up, it was, how are you taking care of yourself? And we know we need to be taking care of ourselves today. So what are the things that you are doing to support your need for sleep? Because as goblins, we know that the world overwhelms us. We know we need more alone time to recharge our battery. Heck, some of us love to be social. Some of us are theater grads and have theatrics, whooshing out of every pore. But I'm doing this alone in my apartment, and I'm happy as a little clam. That's okay with me, right? I just hope I'm making someone happy. I'm making me happy because honestly, this is what I needed to do today. Because when I woke up, I was in the shit. But now I'm king of the marsh, baby. And I'm going to stay in tonight and make chicken thai and congratulate myself over and over that I hooked up the new tech savvy system to watch Outlander. And have some chocolate ice cream and a salt bath. And my skin will be glowing when I finally take off this mask. And I've got my green witch's deck just to get some confirmation. There's a card that's flipped up. What card is that? Cauldron. Creation. Opportunity. Caring. That goes under magic words. Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. Fire burn and cauldron bubble. Fillet of a finny snake in the cauldron boil and bake. All right. The Scottish play. What else? Oh. Okay. I've got 2 cards. You'll never, I can't. I was going to take those, but then. Salt. Fucking salt. Protection. Banishing negativity. Salt. Sorry, I don't mean to yell. But seriously? Divine is like, no, You're there, kiddo. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, I'll take the top one. Mint. Abundance. Persistence and proliferation? Proliferation. I wonder, there's a little fish on that. That makes me wonder. This is the pocket deck of the Green Witch's deck and doesn't have the guidebook in it. So I'm going to get the big one so I can read. Mint. Love mint in my mojito. Frickin' salt. I can't believe it. You know what? I might read salt too from this and see what it says. Frickin' salt. Okay. I'll read mint first. Where are we? You're hiding from me. 63. Ooh. I'm starting to get hungry. It's a good thing. Mint. Card meaning. Oh, mint is green. We have a thing. The mint card speaks of deep roots, firm grounding, and a refusal to give in. Dig in, my friends. The tenacity of the mint herb can be the despair of many gardeners. Oh, that's true. In my old house, there was like 3 or 4 varieties of mint, and it was the way that it was growing, it was more like grass than the way that it was all over. It was great. I mean, we put it in our drinks all the time. But its abundance can also be an encouraging omen. Life's obstacles can be frustrating, but mint reminds you that stubbornness, and if there was a word that I could use to describe Goblin, stubbornness would fit that, you know. Stubbornness can get you through. Consider your current situation. Someone may be trying to uproot you or remove you from something you're passionate about. Don't let them. Make your own decisions and don't let someone else steal your agency. It's like you don't have to take on their beliefs. Dig in. Dig in and be strong. Stubbornness isn't necessarily a negative trait. No, it isn't. Reflection. Are there unfair limitations being imposed on you by someone or something? Well, duh. Welcome to our world, right? Catch up. Yeah, that's just... I honestly... I don't know what the fish earring is all about. Or what the crystal in the middle is. I don't know. Abundance, persistence, and proliferation. Well, you are where you are. And stay there. Well, my mask is definitely dry after 40 minutes. Usually I'm never in the bath that long. I don't have that much patience. Well, my friends, if you've made it this long, congratulations. You're doing exactly what you need to do. Dig in. Take care of yourself. Be proud of yourself for stepping out of whatever it is that is not working for you. Because you were not made for the way things work. And you are the only one can say, this is not working for me, therefore, I am not going to work best in this environment. So I am going to make my own environment. And all you can do is the best that you can do. And you find the people that understand. You find your people, you find other goblins like you, and I will be here. I may not always have a mask on, but I love my ears. And honestly, I love doing this for you guys. Hit me up, give me a shout, tell me if this resonated with you. I would love to know in the comments. If you would like a personal reading, reach out to me at energyhealingoracle555@gmail.com, and I will be here in my goblin hole at least until Saturday. And I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.